Hello and welcome to the Synergy Sanctum. This is our series focused on positive life coaching lessons with Squee the Immortal, where we aim to provide everyone with awareness and coaching that is focused on identifying your goals and your values, ensuring that the steps you take on your own adventure are aligned with that return on time that you are seeking, and sharing countless strategies focused on positive mindsets, resilience, and flourishing as a person each and every day. Let's get into today's episode. So from the research, we tend to learn that our subconscious minds, our brains, are just basically operating on short time frames, right? Because our brain's priority is to keep us happy and comfortable and excited all the time, and it isn't thinking about longer term goals, right? So it's not thinking about those longer term goals. It's instead thinking of the moment, or like the quick fixes of excitement and like passion or motivation. It's just trying to find like quick, easy things to keep feeding our happiness, right? So when we're thinking positively, or we're living in that free fantasy of I'm gonna be in the NFL, right? We're allowing our subconscious minds to indulge in these feelings, right? So it's giving us that happiness, it's giving us that fix in the moment. And what that's doing is it's basically giving us that confirmation bias that everything is okay, everything's gonna work out because you have this dream or this hope, and this leads to like an immediate surge in motivation, right? So it's like, oh, I'm gonna be a content creator, I'm gonna get out my computer tonight and I'm gonna record a video. Like, I'm not thinking about all of the steps along the way, I'm not thinking about the realities, my skill sets, my commitment to it. All I'm thinking about is that initial surge of motivation of like, all right, today's the day, I'm gonna be a content creator. I'm not thinking about like the risk versus the rewards, right? Because my subconscious mind is taking over, and it's just taking over and saying like, hey, you're good, man. Keep it going. You're gonna nail this. It's gonna be great. You're happy, right? Okay, great. We don't gotta think about any other realities. So unfortunately, this happiness tends to be short-lived because we're not thinking about these realities. We're not applying this process of mental contrasting to take this big dream or wish that I have and contrast it down to like what is actually feasible and what can I actually achieve with who I am and my commitment and my motivations. But if I'm willing to engage in what the reality is of the situation, like what are the potential obstacles, what is like my current habits, what's the risks here versus the rewards, if I'm willing to kind of live in the reality with the hope or the goal or the dream, then what I'm ultimately doing is I'm taking it to a more realistic level, and I have a more likelihood of achieving this now. I have more likelihood to achieve what it is that my goal was, or my dream, or maybe I have more likelihood to achieve a step along the way to my dream, right? Because now I've faced the reality of the situation and I'm able to take this and run with it. So to recap, our minds are focused on these short time frames, these short spurts of happiness, trying to keep us comfortable and happy, versus our long-term goals or our purpose or all of these things we've discussed previously. And it's just trying to keep us happy and comfortable, right? But in order to learn and grow towards what you're trying to achieve or who you want to be, you need to be willing to engage in discomfort. You need to be willing to pop your comfort zone, sit in that fear zone for a second, and then think about the potential rewards, face the realities of what it's going to take to achieve that, and then go in and commit to it and start building habits that are happening without you having to think about it. And there's also this idea that we should have some balance with our hopes and dreams and weigh those against the feasibility of those goals and those hopes and dreams. Think about ways to take that bigger dream and put it into smaller chunks, like James Clear says in Atomic Habits, right? Like, how can we take what we're doing and put like these little milestones along the way that'll lead to measures of success and keep me motivated in the reality of whatever situation I'm facing, right? And all of this relates to a concept we've gone over before, and it's Gabrielle Oettingen again, her WOOP concept. So WOOP standing for the wish, the best possible outcome, the obstacles along the way, and then a plan of what you will do if you face those obstacles. So if I have a goal, right, if this is how I'm going to basically like mentally contrast everything, right? So if I have this big dream or goal, I'm gonna now write out or think about what's the best outcome of this. What is the best outcome? Because that's the positive free fantasy, right? So the best outcome is I'm going to achieve X, and this is going to be great, and I'm going to be wildly successful with no obstacles along the way. And then immediately after I say that, I'm going to now think about what are the obstacles? What are the things, what are the realities, right, that stand to prevent me from achieving this? And then I'm going to create a plan that if I face X reality, then I'm going to take Y action, right? So if X reality happens and I have this bigger goal or dream, then I'm going to do Y, and that's going to help me overcome that obstacle. That's going to help me build a smaller measure of success that's leading towards this larger habit. So the concept of mental contrasting and the WOOP tool that Gabrielle Oettingen has gracefully shared with the world are both things that are tools that are leading to your growth and overcoming whatever obstacles or fear zone is happening, right? You're overcoming these quick decisions towards risk, and you're instead leading towards growth and your goals. And this is ultimately leading you towards building better habits, and in those habits being aligned with this higher purpose or goal or vision that you have for yourselves. So regardless of your motivation and your passion and your hope for achieving things, there's going to be setbacks, right? The reality of the situation is no matter what you are pursuing in life, no matter what your goals or your higher purpose are or your values, there's going to be things that occur because it's life, right? Life is going to throw you curveballs, and these setbacks basically test your resilience, your commitment and perseverance towards continuing to pursue whatever it is you're doing, right? And in those moments when those setbacks comes in, that's your comfort zone being popped, right? This is an obstacle. This is popping your comfort zone. And now you're having to have this reassessment of risk versus reward again. So even if you might have had 3 setbacks, and every single one you still made the decision to commit to the reward at the end of the tunnel, maybe this is the one where you're done, right? This is it. I'm done now. I'm not happy doing this. It's not leading towards goals. Even the small measures of success I'm not happy about, I'm throwing in the towel, right? And what can we do to maintain resilience in spite of setbacks, in spite of obstacles or things that are breaking our comfort zones?